Welcome back to week 2 of our spring season.
Shall I turn in my badge and rifle as well?
Your commands tire me! It's okay, we'll play later.
Not rest.
What did I do?
All right, and thank you for joining us for week 2 of our spring season for League of Legends. Today we have our first round against Hamilton. It's kind of really unique with League of Legends. We ended up, the way the groups are working is that you're going to play every team twice during the season. So this is just our first time that we meet up against Hamilton, and we get into our picks and bans.
So, Hamilton has their first pick, their 3 bans. Gilbert is doing their first pick as well. They chose red side, probably because to get counter pick, which is
So
good.
the nice thing about blue side is that you get to pick first. Like they picked Kaiza before Trinity gets too many bans in, and with the red side you get to counter because you'll be the absolute last pick. As far as bans, looks like Hamilton is really targeting that bottom lane. They banned Caitlyn and they banned Smolder, and then we had a ban on Nunu, which is a jungle.
So, strategic. Hamilton is one of the better teams in the state, so we got to be careful.
Yeah,
course.
most definitely. Hamilton's definitely a top tier team, so this is going to be a really great matchup for us. Gilbert coming in with some bans. They banned Vigar, Nautilus, and Jin. So kind of spreading out the bans. Vigar is traditionally a mid laner. Nautilus is a support, and Jin is an ADC. But it does look like Hamilton's going to go ahead and lock in both. What's interesting is that both Hamilton and Gilbert locked in the exact same positions, I believe. Kaiza, I think, is an ADC. And Leona is that support. And it looks like Hamilton is locking in Lux.
Ari.
Not Ari. So that's definitely going to be the mid lane. Gilbert locked in Yunara, which is one of the newer champions. I'm not super familiar with her, so that'll be fun to watch her play. But she is an ADC, and Rel is a really tanky support.
Alright, tanky supports are good because, you want the security of not getting squished.
Yes. And so Hamilton picked a tanky support as well. Leona is very tanky. Leona is great for those team fights.
That's Echo mid lane.
Yes, Echo is probably for the mid lane coming in from Gilbert. And then we go into our next round of bans. So we'll see who Gilbert is going to ban.
Maybe a jungle and a top lane just to get the full spread.
Right, so I mean, because
Oh,
Hamilton
wow.
has already picked those others, they do ban the Fiora, which is a top laner.
Alright.
But knowing that Hamilton's already picked mid and both their bot lane champions, it's really focusing on that top and that jungle. So we'll see who Hamilton is going to ban with their next one.
Only
Their time and a Cassante. So that is a ban on the jungle.
Very nice.
So that is coming in. It looks like we have one more ban. They're hovering Viego, so we'll see. Let's see if they're going to pull the trigger and ban Viego, maybe. Maybe not. And yes, Viego ban. So Viego is also a jungler. So Gilbert really spreading out all of their bans
Is this what people call
across all
strategy?
5 roles.
Right.
And then a Briar ban. So Briar, I believe, is a jungler. So that's
Yes.
really targeting. We got 3 bans on the jungle, 2 bans on ADC from Hamilton, so we know who they're focusing.
Yep. And Gilbert's kind of got more of a spread, one for each.
Yeah, most definitely. So we'll have to see here. Gilbert is picking. They are last. Okay, so they're hovering fiddle for a while, but looks like a last minute change on that Zac.
That's the
Zac
jungle.
is a phenomenal pick. I love Amari Zac.
Zac is pretty cool.
Yeah, so Zac is great because he has a lot of opportunities to be able to do some really awesome ganks. So we'll see how Hamilton responds. The next 2 picks will be coming from Hamilton. So we'll see who they pick first. It kind of doesn't matter which one they pick first because they're going to pick both of them anyway.
Right, but
So,
Excuse me.
they did not pick in
So-
time, and that is not an option. So we will be back. We have to figure out what happened. That is actually not allowed in our rules. When your timer runs out, you can't just leave the match. So we'll have to see if they had any technical issues or anything like that. So give us just a minute, and we'll be right back.
Shall I turn in my badge and rifle as well?
Your commands tire me! It's okay. We'll play later.
Not rest.
What did I do?
My genius will be understood eventually.
Cool foam.
Only pray, flee. My heart was already broken.
Is this what people call strategy?
Alright, we gotta figure it out. And
So
we're
we're back. And our final picks that come in from Hamilton, we have a Dr. Mundo, which is going to be the
Top
jungler.
lane. Jungler. I thought he was a
I
top
think that's
lane.
going to be a jungler. And then Yaosu. I don't think Yaosu is a jungler.
Huh.
So that actually will be interesting. Mundo jungle? Okay, yeah. So Yasu will be in the top lane, which is also really interesting because Yasu, I feel like traditionally has been played in the mid lane. So that'll be interesting. For coming in from Gilbert, we have Poppy that's definitely going to be up in the top lane, which will be great for those team fights. Poppy's ultimate, she can like eat somebody off the map practically, like pushes them all the way back. So that's going to be a really fun game. We are 30 seconds from our spectator view. So just hang out with us and we'll be back as soon as the game comes on. so we are back. Our spectator view glitched again, so we are gonna try spectating in a slightly different way. See if it lets us. I mean, so far it looks pretty normal.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. Give us a second to reset some of these settings. Everyone is in their lane, focusing on the usual early game stuff.
CSing, you know, getting experience and gold. Remember to root for the red team. We are the red team, so don't cheer for blue. And yeah, so general just beginning of game stuff, going out, making sure to kill minions to get XP and gold, poking at the enemy, getting placing wards down, just kind of starting stuff, poking and prodding, just getting built up towards more things down the line.
Some good engages going on here and there. Looks like we have a little bit of a fight going in that bot lane. That Rel getting stunned, but doing a good job. She's thinking of that she's able to take some of that damage. Were able to chunk down the bot laners a little bit, and they both used some of their summoners. I believe so did Gilbert. So
Yep.
it'll be interesting for the next fight. With those being down, what they will do.
Indeed. Gilbert's bot lane is I'd say is pretty good, and they are good at poking and definitely wearing down the enemy. We got some mid lane poking and prodding there, and watch out for that guy in the jungle. We got.
So it looks like
mid lane.
Mundo is kind of hanging out a little bit by that bot lane. So Rel's gonna have to be careful. Ooh, and Rel looks like does get caught out. She's trying to escape, but first blood goes to Hamilton.
Oh dear. You gotta be careful not to feed the jungler, or any character for that matter.
Well, and it's one of those things that's very difficult as a support because your job is to place wards to make sure that you are safe, to make sure those things don't happen. And it's just that unfortunate timing that somebody was already there, but it looks like
comes the
Gilbert
jungle.
does get a gank on that top lane,
It
trying
might be
to
a
fight it
trade
out,
up.
and ooh, nice.
That was close.
That is awesome that second kill does end up going to the Poppy, which is awesome. So it's going to give him a little bit opportunity to get ahead of that Yasuo, since they're a tiny little bit behind on CS. It's really good that that kill went on the Poppy.
Looks like that Echo went back to the Nexus, and now he's coming back using his teleport ability.
Right, and Ari is backing up. So that's going to allow Echo to farm without having much restriction, even though Ari is also going to use her teleport to get back to lane quickly. Looks like Leona is clearing some wards while she can, while they have some pressure up on that bot lane.
Yeah, in general, Gilbert kind of just fell back a little bit. Probably has to spend a bit of gold and regain their health and mana. So
It's important that, especially in the early game, there's so much that's happening. You want to make sure that you don't overstay your welcome in lane, realizing that there are times that it's best for you to just back off, focus on your CS, get some items, get a little bit stronger, and then come back and fight.
Yep. And if I'm not wrong, First Dragon's going to be up soon.
Yeah, so First Dragon's going to be up in 20 seconds. However, it's interesting. First Dragon isn't something that necessarily both teams prepare for a whole time. They just kind of make each other aware that it's there, but no one really, it's not worth dying for.
Right. Not in the early game.
Right.
So you just leave it there a bit.
So Yasuo, has a much better ability of farming because they are meant to be in the mid lane. So that has created a situation where Yasuo is significantly farther ahead than that Poppy. That could potentially create some issues down the line. Everyone else seems to be pretty even. Zach's a tiny little bit behind from that Mundo, but not anything necessarily to be worried about. And everyone else, like I said, pretty even. We do have some people pinging Dragon, and we have another engage in that bot lane where Rel's
But he
getting
gets away.
cut out, but it does look like she's going to get away. But it is going to give Hamilton that priority to take that Dragon.
That's all right, and it's not too important early game.
Yeah, and it does look like Echo's kind of hanging out there. Zack is also there, so Gilbert is collapsing down on Hamilton, and we have another fight. And
Nice.
Mundo goes
That
down.
was definitely
that was
the
a great
target.
engage. Definitely for the jungle to be taken out. And Leona,
Lots of deaths here.
I believe, does go down. So does Kaiza. So really great engage by Gilbert. Being able to take out Hamilton at that dragon pit. And now, because they're all out, they're going to take that dragon for themselves.
Yep. They definitely made it a good idea in targeting the Mundo.
Well, most definitely. Mundo's definitely, I believe, one of their stronger players. Taking out the jungle also removes that smite. Granted, it's a really low death timer because it's so early in the game. Poppy having a great engage with Yasu up there.
Yeah.
And even though she's behind on CS, they're right at the same level. So Poppy doing a good job of keeping up as best as she can, while Gilbert does get the first dragon.
So things were looking a little meh from the beginning because of that first gank, but now things are looking a little better for Gilbert, so that's good.
And that's the thing, like, first blood is not necessarily an indicator of how this game is going to go. This is a game of back and forth. All it takes is one good team fight, one bad engage, one overextension,
And it's all
and it changes everything.
all change for sure. If you see that little guy trailing behind Echo, that means his ultimate is ready. His thing is a time recall where he goes back in time to where that guy is.
Yeah, looks like Yasu tried to recall in the bush, but Poppy knew that he was there, forced him to back off a little bit more, which is going to delay that Yasu a little bit, and he's got to make a choice. Does he stay in lane, try to farm, or does he go back and get healthy? Looks like he's deciding to stay in lane and get some of that farm, winding up a little bit on that window, and Poppy knows she needs to back off.
Indeed. Looks like we got a little bit of a gank setup, kind of, but
Nice. And Echo
Echo
is
gets
able to
him.
take Ari, which is really good by
Yep.
them. Looks like Gilbert is trying to head up to Grubs. And
Yeah.
Rel is up
Watch out
in
for
that
that
top
Mundo.
lane. Mundo is there. However, Echo's pushing on the mid lane because Ari's still down, so he's taking really good advantage of that. And Mundo knows that they have to back off. So which means Gilbert is going to be able to get those Grubs.
safety in numbers.
Oh, absolutely. This was a great play by Gilbert. Having that priority in that mid lane, pushing back, Ari being out was able to create those advantages so that they could get those grabs. Look like Echo almost got first play on that tower. Yanara doing a good job at holding back the bot lane since she is by herself, taking out that minion wave, and Gilbert got all three grubs.
Yep. It's helpful to defend alone if you're a ranged unit. You could just stay under tower and poke at the
Most
enemy.
definitely, and this is a really good play by Gilbert, of making sure that they play smart and they play their game, which is early game is you focus on CS. You poke where you can, you look for opportunities, but you don't overextend, you don't get greedy.
nice.
And here we have a great engagement with the Poppy.
Oh.
So close.
Yasuo.
Oh man, that was such a close fight.
Yeah. You can definitely tell he's meant for more DPS than
Well,
tank.
yes, most definitely. And Yasu also used all of his stuff. He used Ignite, he used his ultimate to try to get that Poppy.
And that provides later opportunities while it recharges.
Correct. It could potentially create some opportunities later on because he doesn't have those things for other potential fights.
And it looks like he took the opportunity to fall back anyway, so
Yes.
it'll allow for both sides to re-engage as normal.
Correct. Looks like we have a
vision.
little bit of an engage coming in here. Alright, looks like Ari was aware that that was coming and definitely backed off.
Yep. And
We have-
backing away to the Nexus.
Yeah, so everyone's still pretty much playing relatively safe, poking where they can, making sure not to push too far. We have a challenge in the mid lane where they didn't both have minions, so they both had to be very careful because they have very little support from their minions there.
Indeed.
Oh, and
Oh,
Windows
watch
coming
out
up
for
on
that
that
mark.
top lane for a gank. Poppy trying to get away. We'll have to see if she's able to get out, and I don't think she's gonna make it.
That's not great. So she's down. Gilbert's still up in kills, but however, a little behind in gold.
I mean, barely. I'd say almost there.
A
Pretty
little bit.
even there. It's a tiny little bit of difference, not even worth too much of that note. So because Hamilton is able to be ahead on that CS, I think the one that they're super ahead on is really that top lane, which is probably what's making that goal difference. But the kill count is what's allowing Gilbert to stay neck and neck, realizing they also have Grubs, they also have Dragon. The next Dragon is coming up in 30 seconds, and that one is definitely going to be a lot more important. Gilbert does already have a lot of vision.
That wasn't worth it.
That, I don't know if it was worth it for that Echo to go in that far.
Oh, watch out.
Yanara looks like she,
Flashes.
It was Zach that went down there. So that was a difficult engage for Gilbert because losing the Zach is going to provide opportunity for Hamilton to get the next Dragon, which is going to get them significantly farther ahead. As that Mundo is heading to Dragon, looks like Leona's taking an opportunity to put some wards in that jungle, knowing that Zach is going to be coming back right now. Bot lane is heading towards that Dragon, trying to see if they're able to steal it by any chance, but it looks like they're choosing to back off. And second Dragon goes to Hamilton.
So now both teams will just reset to their lanes. Maybe a little poking. Sometimes later in the game, they do team fights before or after.
Yes, most definitely. It just depends what everybody is headed at right now. So looks like the bot lane is going to be backing off, which creates some opportunities for Gilbert to push that lane a little bit, maybe get some hits on the tower.
Destroy some plates, get a little gold.
Yep, get a little bit of extra gold there, or potentially get caught up on CS.
Yeah. And top lane is behind a couple of levels, unfortunately. Hopefully she can catch up in time.
Yeah, I think those two kills really hurt Poppy. And now there comes a point in the game where you get this much of a difference where your job is just to play safe, to not keep giving any more kills to that top lane, because otherwise there are going to be a problem later on as your team goes into some of those team fights.
And yeah. However, while they are ahead in that level top lane, a couple weeks ago we saw the same thing happen at top lane, and they got too cocky, and then they ended up dying a bunch.
Correct. So good engages coming in from the mid lane as they focus on their CS. Looks like Mundo's coming in, so that Echo's going to have to be careful. Does take out the Ahri, but I don't think he knew that Mundo was there.
He does seem to get away.
But he does able
thanks
to
to his
back
ultimate,
off.
he
That's
was able
good.
to go back in time.
That is very, very good. And that's a nice feature that Echo has. Like, can manipulate time a little bit, which allows him to have a little bit of an escape for when those situations arise. So,
Bottom lane's hiding.
really even game, which I think is kind of what we expected. To see kind of this back and forth between Gilbert and Hamilton, which means it's really going to come down to those end game team fights.
Agreed. And top lane's got very heavy levels, for sure.
Yeah, so it's
They're a
all
bit
about
ahead.
Poppy protecting that tower as best as she can. While Zach and potentially Echo look for opportunities to be able to gank wherever possible. But Poppy doing a great job at clearing that wave as quickly as she can, which allows her to catch up a lot. She is now only one level behind, which is super good. Yasu has to push her back off, but they're going to have to be a little bit more careful. Echo dealing with two of them right there. Looks like we have Rift Herald. That's going to be coming up in 10
First
seconds.
tower down.
First tower does go down. Looks like Poppy's trying to fight that Yasu and may not be able to. Echo's pushing on that Ahri, but we do have Rel there to support. However, Mundo's also there.
Here comes
Zach
Zach.
jumps in. The great engage coming in from Gilbert. Let's see, we have 2v1. Yasu goes down. Poppy needs to be careful to not get that kill. So we got Mundo. Unfortunately, it goes down. They're chasing down the Mundo, and
Mundo goes
Echo
down.
is able to get that Mundo, which
They're going for Herald now.
yeah, so even though, like, you know, it wasn't ideal for the Poppy to die, you don't want to feed that Mundo. However, this is going to allow a situation. Echo got the gold from the plates, from the tower. Zach's going to be able to get Rift Herald, which is going to help in the long run. Yannara a little bit in a dangerous situation in the bot lane, but
Lost a
is
lot of
able to
health
flash
there.
out. Kai'Sa really, really low, which allows Yannara to stay there.
Nice.
Kai'Sa goes down. That's a great engages coming in from Gilbert.
And they have Rift Herald.
And gold-wise, they're back in the game. Now, having Rift Herald and having Grubs could be a little bit of a game changer later on because they have that extra support to take out towers when we get into some of those late game situations.
Ooh, now we got
Ooh, Echo kind of getting a little too,
lit up.
yes, realizing Echo's no longer playing against that Ahri, they're playing against the Yasuo that's a little bit more fed, is a level ahead. So definitely having to be more careful. I wonder if Hamilton is doing a permanent trade where now they're going to put Yasuo in the mid lane and send that Ahri to the top. Rel coming up,
out.
gets a little bit caught out there by Hamilton, but is able to get away.
They're taking vision for the next dragon.
They're getting that scuttle, which automatically gives them vision in front of the dragon pit. Doesn't do a whole lot, but it definitely doesn't hurt.
Exactly.
So now Echo's gonna have to be a little bit more careful now that Hamilton has made that trade, realizing that Yasuo is significantly farther ahead, matching that Echo on CS.
the Rift Herald is down.
Oh, where do they put
They
Rift
put
Herald?
Rift Herald in the mid lane.
Oh, that is interesting. That's going to do something with the through right away. We have a team fight coming in here. It's like Kai'Sa goes down. Wow, Leona also goes down. Mundo goes down.
Nice.
That was a great fight by Gilbert. Goodness.
And Rift Herald's about to
Rift
charge down
Herald
the
is
tower.
about to charge the mid tower.
Boom.
And
good.
mid tower goes down, and because no one is there, it's going to get a second charge with those grubs. Gilbert is going to be able to take out potentially that second tower, because Hamilton is still not back. Ahri fighting that Poppy. Yep, second tower goes down, and Gilbert backs off. Great engage by Gilbert.
Yes.
That is
Gilbert.
pristine teamwork. I'm so proud of them. Oh my gosh, that was so great.
Gilbert has some really great teamwork. We very much emphasize communication and working
Most
together.
definitely, and I think it's that idea that they're no longer in solo queue. They're working with their team, and it is no longer about your personal KDA. It is about what the team is able to do and making sure that you protect yourself so that you can be effective in those team fights, which is exactly what Gilbert has been doing. Now Poppy is even with that Ahri, which is now much more even fight for them in that top lane, which I think is going to allow Poppy to create some awesome situations here against that Ahri. Still focusing on that CS, which is kind of what top does. They're kind of in a world of their own.
Yep.
We've got some engages here, so Poppy does have to be careful. That charm. She doesn't have a tower to escape to, and Poppy does go down to that Ahri. So he's going to have to be careful he doesn't feed the Ahri, because then that could be an issue later on.
One general weakness she seems to have is no range, so that's definitely slowing her down
Yeah.
with her opponents that
However,
have range.
in that fight, I didn't realize Hamilton did get that second dragon. I didn't realize the dragon had gone down that quickly. So that's something Gilbert's going to have to be careful, because you do get the buffs from different dragons. Once you get 3 dragons, once you get 4 dragons. So the fact that Hamilton has that second dragon, they're not out of this game by any means. They could go still in any direction. So we're still going to have to play really smart here.
We got more lane changes. It's been a very all over the place game for sure.
Well, and that just shows you at what level these two teams are playing. The ability to know when to trade lanes to best help your team, that's a mark of a team that is experienced playing together, and they understand the nature of this game, that there comes a point where your laning phase is over and you need to go where it's best for your team, and sometimes that means swapping some lanes around. Looks like we are potentially setting up for another team fight around that dragon pit, which is interesting because dragon's not up for another 2 minutes. I think everyone's just warding, trying to get ready for a potential fight for that dragon, because both teams desperately want that dragon.
Agreed. So we got junglers kind of jungling, top lane, she's by herself. Bottom lane, who looks like they might try and gank the Echo. There's 3 of them down there.
So Echo's gonna have to be very careful now that they're in that bot lane. I don't think it's a situation that he's super used to being in. But really being careful. Looks like Rel is coming down to help, but gets stopped by the Leona. Echo having, and it's still a 2v3. So Gilbert's gonna have to be very, very careful there.
They fall back to the tower and looks like they're calling in reinforcements. They got 2 more arriving. Hamilton's going to fall back.
Yeah, so they are resetting potential. Oh, and Gilbert does catch one of them, but it's still a 2v3. I'm not sure what the rest of the. There we go. Zach does come in.
Watch out for that tower.
And looks like Leona goes down.
Zach's in his slimes.
Oh, so fighting under tower was probably not the best idea for Gilbert, because at that point you're also taking tower shots. So the fact that both Echo and Zach went down, it turned a really good engage into a not good one because they decided to fight under tower. Those are the little things they have to be super careful about, because fighting under tower when you have a full team fight kind of works against your advantage, and that allowed Hamilton to take a tower, to take some of the jungle from Gilbert. They're going to push here, potentially take a second tower in that bot lane, and we're still getting plates just like Gilbert did in the mid lane. Looks like Poppy is trying to get there. I'm not sure if she's going to get there in time before this tower goes down. Looks like she does make it there in time, just enough to push them back. And second dragon has spawned. Gilbert is not there, but Hamilton is. I would be willing to bet they're going to melt this dragon down very quickly.
So yeah, we said before, it's just these things like this that you really got to be careful because
Yep.
it'll change the whole game.
Looks like Zach got there, but just as they finished, so Hamilton does get that third dragon, which brings us back to an even game in regards to gold. So now Gilbert needs to reset, focus on the next objective, and just try to make sure that we don't have any more engages like we just did.
We got this guy getting rid of wards.
Yes, Ro. As a support, it's one of their jobs to clear vision throughout the jungle as safely as they can, while placing their own vision around to help for future engages. Baron is up. It's been up for a little while, but I don't think either team's in a position to try to get Baron yet. So we have some engages in towers. Looks like we are fighting under tower again. That Echo
But the tower goes down.
tower goes down. Let's see if Echo's going to be able to get out. They are fighting 2v1, getting stunned by that Mundo, and he does go
Echo goes
down.
down.
So again, it's kind of a trade-off. Like, you get the gold from the tower, but then you also fed the Mundo. So
I mean, at least he can buy stuff from the shop while he's dead.
yeah, you just gotta be careful. That Mundo is starting to get tankier by the minute. Kai'Sa does have 7 kills, so she's a little bit fed. So Gilbert needs to be careful. We just keep saying it. Gilbert needs to be careful. It's too close of a game to be giving up a lot of those kills for those overextensions. So we'll see what happens next as everybody is getting back to their lanes.
Looks like they're gonna go for Baron.
It looks like they're clearing vision around Baron. I don't think Gilbert... Baron's not going to be a good call for anybody unless they're able to have a team fight and wipe out the team. Both teams are way too strong to be able to fight in front of Baron right now. So I think it's about both teams finding the right advantage, the right priority in order to engage there. We've got 3 minutes until the next dragon, so this is a really good time for everyone to kind of reset their priorities, focus on those lanes, wipe them out as much as they can, maybe try to push some towers. Gilbert needs to be careful because we do have towers gone on both top and bot lane. Versus Hamilton, they've only lost towers in that mid lane. So, actually, top lane has also, top and bot have also lost their first towers.
Yeah.
So, still kind of even on that front. So, we're gonna have to be careful on our engages
Looks like
and
the
how they
next
fight.
dragon is coming. Or nope, in 2
Not
minutes.
for 2 minutes. So we've got lots of time until that.
Indeed. So who knows what can happen? A team fight can happen.
Right.
They could just level up and stay in their own lanes. Like,
Yes, so Hamilton is trying to separate and go through different lanes, trying to provide pressure in different areas. And here's the different 2 strategies. There's a strategy of staying together, causing some team fights, 5v5s, while also trying to split lanes and try to have 1v1s or 2v2s. So we'll see what both of these teams decide. They're kind of all separating, still focusing on vision, trying to push their lanes. But again, these two teams are so equally balanced as far as their skill level. From what we've seen so far, it's hard to tell. Like, it's gonna have to come down to some hard decisions that both teams are gonna have to make.
I think they know that whatever next objective they try to take, Dragon or Baron, whatever initiates the next team fight is going to make a major impact in the game.
Most
they're
definitely.
gonna
So
be
both
careful.
teams trying to clear vision as much as they can. Going back, getting stronger, getting items. Everyone's kind of leveled out. Both the Yasuo and the Poppy are not equally matched. Looks like we have a team fight that almost started 2v3. Mundo is a level ahead of that Zac. Ari and Echo are now back head-to-head, same level. Kai'Sa and Yanara are equal levels. Rel's one level ahead of Leona. So when we look at both of these teams, they are neck and neck as far as their levels, as far as their gold. It's Gilbert's ahead in kills, but Hamilton's ahead in dragons, which is probably why they're so leveled out right now. And looks like we will have another team fight outside here. Hamilton really trying to push here, trying to have that team fight. Everyone's gathering in. Poppy is coming down as the next dragon is coming up right now. We'll see what kind of fight we are going to have here. Mundo trying to find and engage here. Zac getting a hold of that Mundo.
Holding them back.
Hamilton kind of gathering together here. Going to potentially start that dragon, and they are. Gilbert is right around the corner. Looks like they pull it out and then back off. Oh,
This is scary.
This is stressful.
I think
this
Hamilton,
is very, very stressful.
I think Hamilton has a little bit of a level advantage because they have a level 17 and a level 16. But we'll see. Dragon is...
I think by barely, because that Yasuo just barely hit level 17, which means the Poppy is probably almost there.
Right, but they ain't gonna gain
So it looks like
levels.
Ari has decided to go push that lane since nobody's wanting to engage in a team fight. Trying to force Gilbert to potentially have to go back and defend that tower. It doesn't look like Gilbert is going to fall for it. Looks like Echo's going to potentially do the same and push in the mid lane. Is that what is happening right now? They have started the dragon. Let's see what Gilbert's going to do to respond. Maybe they're going to let Hamilton push. Right, chunk down that dragon. Zac goes in. Yes! And we steal the dragon.
Let the team
Great
fight
job by
begin.
Gilbert. We have a team fight going in here.
Oh, that's fun.
Leona goes down. Then we have Kai'Sa that goes down. That's a great fight. Poppy does go down here, but so does the Yasuo. That was a great engage by Gilbert.
Zac leaped in at just the right spot.
Most definitely in that Echo. I didn't see what Echo did, but he ended up going back to the lane.
He pushed away the
Okay. So they're taking out that that wave in that bot lane. Zac trying to take advantage by the fact that
watch out for that Mundo.
Hamilton's not there, trying to take some of those camps, but he does have to be careful because Mundo is back. Stuns the Zac a little bit, but Zac is able to get away.
That's an advantage of Zac. He's very mobile.
Yes, he is, very much so. So that was a great engage by Gilbert. Going into that team fight, they did lose a couple, or maybe just one, but we're able to get that second dragon, get a couple more kills. Great engage. It looks like we are still setting up for Baron, just keeping vision on it. No one's really ready to go for it. We're just gonna hang out there just in case.
I'm guessing if they have a whole Baron fight,
Yeah.
that's gonna be the huge push because like
Yes.
after Baron,
Echo does get cut out a little bit trying to take that scuttle, and we have another fight. We have a 4v5. Oh, they're all there. So we'll see if they're gonna fully engage in that Baron fight.
Indeed.
But it looks like everybody is backing off a little bit.
Right, because if you have it, whoever has the team fight and loses here, they're gonna have to deal with fending off an entire team
Yes.
and the buffed minions.
100%. So both teams are playing smart, being very careful. Again, just shows how the skill level, they're so evenly matched in their ability to manage the game itself and their objectives. So we'll see next Dragons now for 2.5 minutes. Gilbert is already pinging it because that third dragon would be a game changer. While Hamilton is taking out the vision around Baron. Mundo taking out all that vision that Gilbert just put in. Still fighting in those lanes to see if they're able to get more towers. Gilbert is ahead on 1 tower. They've taken out 4. And Hamilton's only taken out 3. And we have some minor engages going on here and there. Looks like Echo trying to push a little bit in that bot lane. A slight fight
Watch out for
going
that tower.
in. Ooh, Echo, watch out for the tower.
Someone
Oh,
has
someone
left the
got
game.
disconnected.
Uh-oh.
I would assume we're probably going to get a pause. And there's the pause. So, the nice thing that Riot does offer is that something happens if you have a disconnect. You are allowed to pause the game up to 30 minutes to give an opportunity for that player to reconnect. It just kind of stops everything. So, oh, and we're back. That was a quick one.
Very good, very good.
Normally, you try to tell the team, hey, we're ready, and give them a heads up, you know, but hey, it's all right.
A lag.
And now we're lagging a little bit. Hopefully, it doesn't mean that we're going to get kicked, because that would be very unfortunate, because I want to see how this game ends. Oh, there, no, still not cool. Let's see if I can figure something out. Oh, there we go.
All right. You want to catch up as far as we go, or just keep it here?
I'm
Oh,
not
looks like
sure.
Gilbert's on
Ooh, looks like we have an engage on Dragon.
Baron.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you, Baron. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it does look like a dragon.
It does look like a dragon. It looks like Echo is staying in that bot lane, providing some pressure,
Nice,
taking
tower
out that
down.
tower, which forced that Mundo to go over there. And Gilbert was able to get Baron, which is going to be huge. So everyone on the team automatically has the Baron buff as long as you were alive, and you keep it as long as you stay alive. As you go near minions, you give that buff to your minions as well. So this is going to be huge, and Gilbert just needs to make sure to use it. That buff is going to allow for minions to push towers harder and faster. So Gilbert needs to definitely take advantage of that buff while they have it. I don't remember how long the buff is for, but it doesn't last forever. That is for
Right.
sure.
Usually, most teams make good of it when it counts. So.
Yes, most definitely. We do have the next dragon coming up in 40 seconds. So we're definitely going to see both teams kind of setting up for it. Gilbert kind of trying to push Hamilton off of it.
Right.
Taking care of vision. We still have 30 seconds, which in this game feels like an eternity. Hamilton looks like they're clearing some of that wave to give themselves as much priority as they possibly can. Gilbert kind of doing the same thing, pushing on that bot lane, the top lane, excuse me.
Very interesting. Dragon is up in 10 seconds. We got 3 Gilbert down there with the 2 kind of just meandering down themselves. Hamilton as well.
And Dragon is up. It looks like Gilbert is not going to waste any time. They are going to jump on it right away. Zach goes in, and that third dragon is going to go to Gilbert. Now we are 3-3. Gilbert still has that Baron buff, which is going to allow them to continue to push in those different areas, realizing that the next objective is not for 4 minutes. Another Baron will spawn in 4 minutes, another dragon in almost 5. So Gilbert now needs to use this to push.
Yep. And levels are pretty even on both sides still. Again, they're showing how they're both, watch out, skilled.
Yes, Echo getting a little bit caught out, having that Yasu
he
Doesn't
flashes.
have a great escape, but looks like he's able to
that was a
get
good
through some of
one.
those walls. That was a great escape by Echo. I didn't think he
Yeah.
was gonna make it, to be honest.
Neither did I.
Rel and Yanara fighting that Ari in that mid lane, trying to push as much as they can. Mundo is there to support, which causes Gilbert to back up a bit. They're going to top lane to support Poppy.
And here comes Hamilton.
Right, so Hamilton's starting to get in a situation where they're having to split off a little bit. So having to be a little bit more careful because they have minions in every lane that they have to deal with. But Hamilton's doing a really good job with their mobility, being able to bounce from lane to lane to defend and not allowing Gilbert to push too much. They really have done a good job of that.
Alright, we might get a mid lane fight here. So
Yeah, so looks like Hamilton trying to
tower
push
shot.
on that tower a bit more. We have an engage here. We
They're trying to
might
get that
have
Mundo.
another fight, but it looks like they just pushed them off. Again, both teams being really smart about what engages to take and which engages to back off of.
Exactly. But you can see in every engage that they definitely are targeting Mundo. because he
Yes,
is
most
tanky.
definitely. Well,
It's
and
like a
also Mundo is what your jungler is what creates more opportunities for you because they have good escapes, and because if you get them out for the next objective, you don't have that team doesn't have a smite.
But our jungle does have a level over the Mundo, so that's interesting to see after
Yes,
this
so
whole game.
Zach doing a really good job at pushing past the challenges of the early game. Looks like that mid tower does go down on Gilbert's side, and looks like Hamilton backs off right away, and everybody resets. Gilbert's still trying to push where they can. Hamilton's having to decide if they're going to back or if they're going to stay there in lane. Oh, these are going to be some long games.
Yep, but you know what? That's what we signed up for.
Yes, it is. So Echo's still trying to push that bot lane as much as he can, but they're making sure they keep two people down there, which keeps pushing him off. In the mid lane, kind of the same thing happening. No one's really been able to push too much ahead. Pretty even on those towers. So we'll see here what kind of engage we're going to have.
Right. Is there a certain max level characters can get?
18.
18.
Wait, no, because now they're 20. 18 is for Aram, so I'm actually not sure in like Summoner's Rift what the limit is because Yasuo's already 20, Poppy's at 19. So
My guess is that it,
keeps going.
because I know 18 is like the max like level for to unlock all of your skills and stuff.
Yes.
So maybe it just keeps going after that. Because
Maybe.
these games can go on forever.
Yes.
ARAM's built for shorter stuff.
Yes, exactly. So let's see here. We have a dragon coming up in 50 seconds. Baron that is coming up in 10. So both teams are going to start setting up for the next round of objectives. Whether they choose to do one or the other, it will more than likely mean that we will have a team fight in one or the other. And potentially both teams, one team getting both objectives.
Yep.
So vision going down by Pitt. Gilbert doing a good job at keeping that vision around there. Hamilton also putting in their own vision to make sure that everyone's got
Watch out.
are aware what's going on. Ooh, and that Echo gets stunned for forever, and Echo goes down, which is going to make things hard because now a team fight will be 4v5, which Hamilton knows, which is why they're probably pushing up on that dragon. Gilbert's still kind of hanging out there, trying to find their own engage. Looks like they grab onto the Yasu.
Yep, but unfortunately,
Oh, and that
out.
is an
SOI.
unfortunate scenario for that Poppy, which means Gilbert has to back off, and Rel does go down, and so will the Zac. So that is an unfortunate turn of events for Gilbert. Looks like Hamilton is going to choose to push instead of going for dragon.
But we do
Oh,
got
now
someone
they're gonna go for a dragon. So looks like Ari did go down to that Yanara, and it's probably what caused Hamilton to change their mind and just go for the dragon instead.
Yep.
They are going in pretty quickly. Yanara is there trying. She's kind of hovering around. I don't know if she's going to try to go in. But that fourth dragon does go to Hamilton. I'm not sure why that Echo goes in by himself. That was not... She's able to get away. I don't know if he's going to make it. No, and he goes down rather quickly.
Interesting choice.
So these are the ones that we have to be a little bit more careful. Elder Dragon, that will be Elder for Hamilton if they go here. So they chase down the Yanara, and these are the things that can be game changers in League of Legends. Does not mean that it's over. It just means that Gilbert has to be careful and they have to get that next dragon. Hamilton is chunking down that Baron, and the Rel is there trying to potentially contest, but they're able to get that Baron, and they are immediately going to go to the mid lane and try to push, I bet.
Yeah. So Gilbert just
Realizing
has to
that they have Soul, they have, I believe, Ocean Soul, but I don't remember what buff Ocean Soul gives them. But Gilbert's there just trying to defend as best as they can as they fight Hamilton here. Hamilton pushing on those towers. And they're trying to push him back as best as they can. We have a 3v2. Echo coming in. Rest of Hamilton, and that mid lane tower does go down.
So they are even on towers now.
Yes, they are.
Almost even in kills. Hamilton's a little ahead in gold. So Gilbert's just got to play cautiously.
Yes, exactly, because no one's running away with this game. Like, even though Hamilton is ahead in gold, it's by less than 5,000 gold. They have one more dragon. We're equal on everything else. So it's just about being careful on your next team fight, because Hamilton is going to push to try to split the team, like, because that's what happened last time.
Right.
They got picked off one at a time, and Hamilton's going to try to create those situations again, and Gilbert just has to make sure that they don't allow that. Mundo is in that top lane, probably trying to create some of that split to allow Hamilton to push a little bit further. So Gilbert just has to play really smart. Looks like Poppy goes up there trying to stop it.
Even though she's got level, he's just so tanky.
He is. Looks like Rel does go down. I think they've got to be careful to not be caught out by themselves. We have a 3v2 fight here. Poppy goes down. Taking some tower shots.
Another tower goes down. That one fell quickly. And here comes another one. A couple more. Gilbert trying to poke him back. A couple tower shots taken at Hamilton. And it looks like they're able to effectively make them run away. And here they come. Maybe this will change
does
it.
go in, and looks like Kaiser does go down.
Very
We have
good.
another engage
Nice.
here, and
Three. Nice.
yes, Ari goes down, and so did... Who else went down? Oh, and it was a Leona that also went down. We lost an Inhib, though. So that creates some challenges for Gilbert. Inhib allows the opposing team to now have super minions. So Gilbert's going to have to be careful and has to defend that middle lane just a little bit more than they would have in the without those super minions. So they're going to have to be careful, and they're going to have to fight for that Elder.
Especially if they're Baron buffed super minions. That's scary.
Yes, but I think the Baron buff has died out. Yeah, they don't have the Baron buff anymore.
Nope. Yep.
They still have the Soul buff, but that is it. Our next big fight is going to be in 2 minutes when that next dragon comes up, because Hamilton wants it, and Gilbert cannot let Hamilton have it. So we'll have to see what kind of fight we have going on here.
And who knows? Who knows?
All right, so we'll go into this. We'll see what...
Next dragon's up in a minute and a half. Both teams are hovering around that kind of area. Just pushing in the middle.
Yeah, so we have kind of an engage. Both teams really getting ready, knowing that that's going to happen in a minute, and that is a must-be fight. That is not a fight that's going to be delayed. That's going to be a fight that's going to get played pretty much right away.
Yep. And 1 minute left until the game-changing dragon. That's what.
Yes, most definitely. I mean, this game has come so close.
Hiko Spirit Dash.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Nikki, I like you.
Blue team has scored an ace. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed. A summoner has disconnected.
All right. So we lost the first game, unfortunately, and we were just the coaches were doing their post-game talk for the next game.
That was an incredibly close match. So we are going to get our code and get into the second game. So we'll be back shortly.
Shall I turn in my badge and rifle as well?
Red setting it, I believe.
Yes, we are.
Your commands tire me!
With the same bans. Hamilton's still banning that Caitlyn, and Gilbert's still banning that Vygar.
And for the next ban, maybe they'll ban the Zac. He was definitely causing trouble.
It's okay. We'll play later.
Stick with that ban on Nunu, which is interesting because I definitely expected a ban on that Zac, but maybe they think they can manage Zac since they were able to get that win. It looks like they have a ban on that Nautilus coming in from Gilbert.
What did I do?
We got Smolder banned.
Yes, so we'll see Gilbert coming in with the third.
No cure for fools.
So same bans, the only change was Gilbert. They changed out the Jhin for that Yasu, which makes sense. That Yasu created some challenges in that top lane.
And they're immediately going Jhin.
Yeah, so they're gonna go ahead and pick that Jhin done in the bot lane. Really tired here. Oh, but Gilbert coming in with a Tristana, which is one of Chimera's best champions. And to go with a Tristana, looks like we're gonna go with a more of a gentler support. Coming in with that Melio, has a ton of heal and knockback, so that's gonna be really good for Gilbert.
Right. I mean, they had a game with each other, so now they're going to adapt to each other's play styles, you know, play more into different strategies. So you'll definitely see, you might see a different combination here and there.
Correct. So we would see we're gonna have a Taric. So that's interesting. I haven't seen a Taric in a long time. A little bit on. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go as far as tanky. Like Taric's more like middle guy. He has some of that magic with a little bit of that tank. And it looks like they're hovering a Victor for the mid lane.
All right. So I'm guessing Taric Jhin bottom lane then.
Yes, Taric Jhin is gonna be the bot lane for sure. So let's see. We are picking.
Third pick.
We're running down the clock. An Orianna pick. I believe that is still there.
All right. And times.
Control print screen.
Next ban coming up.
Alright, so we have one of our players whose screen bugged out, so we'll see. Oh, and he disconnected. So give us just 1 minute while we try to get reconnected. So, yeah, we'll be back.
I turn in my badge and rifle as
bands
well?
here.
Yep.
Your commands tire
So
me.
quickly, since they've already picked their first 3 bands.
It's okay. We'll play later.
We love our Riot and League of Legends always glitching out.
Gosh, there's always an issue with Riot, I feel like. It's okay. There's back in the game. Move on to game.
What did I do?
So coming in with the same stuff.
No cure for fools.
Back to the picks. Next pick phase. If I'm right, you're allowed to have cosmetics on League of Legends.
Yes, League of Legends. It's Marvel Rivals that you're not allowed to have.
What's the difference between the two that causes that?
Marvel Rivals has some skins that are
So just
significantly more provocative than League of Legends does.
fair.
And League of Legends is more like a, I mean, it's third person, but it's more like a view rather than a true third person. Versus Marvel Rivals is a true third person, so you can see it up closer.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
We got everything down here. Bands coming up. Now we'll finally get to see. Hopefully
Coming
nothing
in
breaks.
with our next band,
My
Gilbert
heart
banning
was
that
already
Diego
broken.
for the jungle. And then let's see what we're going to ban here. They banned the Belvith, so that's interesting. That's a different ban from last time, I feel like.
Did we use Belvin last time?
No.
Interesting. Oh well.
So I'm curious where that one's coming from.
Cool foam.
Fiora coming in. So Gilbert's sticking to pretty much our same bands, minus that Yasu.
Makes
And
sense.
the last ban here is going to be, looks like they're having Cassante.
Alright.
And
It's taking a little bit, so please don't tell me it glitched again.
now they're just taking a while to lock it in.
Only
And they're rocking Cassante.
Second pick phase.
Alright, so now Gilbert's going to pick Aatrox, which is going to be going in the top lane. Really take you one.
And then looks like next they're gonna go Akali.
So Kali would probably be the jungler.
Alright. Akali.
And now they're gonna pick their top lane, which they're gonna go with.
Maybe don't go top lane. We could make a top lane. Jace.
Jace.
That makes sense. He's a tank.
Wait, jungle Jace is normally jungle. I think it's a jungle Jace. That means Akali's gonna be in the top lane.
Interesting. So
It's
where
very
does-
interesting.
where
Or Victor could be going top lane. That'll be.
Huh.
No, it's Akali top lane. Oh wait, Orange. So no, Aatrox will probably be jungle, and Oran's gonna be in the top lane. I think.
Interesting.
Coach talking about Choo Choo Orn. It's one of the skins that Orn has, and it's so cute. So like every champion has like a little like animation dance that they do, and Orn, the Choo Choo skin for Orn, his animation, he creates a little tunnel, and he comes out in like his conductor outfit and just goes choo choo and like waddles out of it. It is the cutest thing ever.
The most unserious skin for one of the most serious games ever.
Right? Because Orin is like this big, tough guy, and it's like this super cute train conductor that goes choo choo.
Ridiculous skins.
Ah,
It's what,
yes.
it's what
Skins
makes
make
the,
it fun. I
what-
like playing with skins.
it's what makes the companies and the world go round.
Oh, that's so true. I mean, League of Legends is a free game, so like that's where they make their money is from the skins.
Right.
All right. Well, we are going into our spectator delay. So give us about 2-ish minutes, and we'll be right back. game 2. So, just loading into the map, everyone's headed to their start positions. Looks like everybody's starting in their normal, like 5-point starts all along the river, just to make sure that there's going to be no ganks
Indeed.
or invades.
Yep. They're strategically placed in strategic locations. Strategically being strategic. I did not know the robot walked that slow. Interesting. But anyway, first pokes of damage and spells and attacks going out in the mid lane. We got CS starting, and yeah. So we got the skin, the orange skin. But yeah, poke. So mid lane, little damage dealing here and there, taking out minions.
Oh, he does
top
have
lane.
Choo Orn.
Yep, he does have Choo Choo.
That's awesome. I just don't think we'll have time for him to like dance and show us the animation.
Oh.
Sadly.
How tragic.
I know, it's so cute. But anyways, we have just your usual early game, trying to find some advantages, realizing level 1, everyone just has one ability. So if you are able to level up before your opponent, you have an extra ability to use. So some champions are more powerful early game before hitting some of those levels. So you try to do a little extra poking out, pushing them back, denying them some CS. Those are all things that you are looking for in this early portion of the game. Both teams kind of reaching levels at similar times. Looks like Gilbert's a tiny little bit ahead on some, but not enough to really be significant.
Right, it's early game. Like, no one loses in the first 5 minutes.
Absolutely not. Well, especially now that both teams have kind of gauged where everybody's at. Nobody had any subs come in, so we have they understand each other a little bit more, so they'll be able to respect that when they go into these games.
Right. A little top laning. Here we go to the middle lane. Just good CS and poking going out from both sides. It's bottom lane, same thing. Top lane. It's gotten a little pushback to tower, but nothing too significant. We'll
Alright, so
clear up
just
the
focusing
wave.
on that CS. He's starting to get a tiny little bit behind, but we saw that last game, and you know he found ways to catch up. So not anything to worry about. Bot lane definitely playing a little bit safer now that you know Gilbert has a support that isn't quite as tanky, isn't going to be as aggressive in that lane, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah. Because what we saw last time, Gilbert pushed a little too much a couple times, and it helped turn things around for Hamilton.
Most definitely. So here it looks like we're just clearing some vision. First dragon's not for another minute and a half. So just both teams really focusing on that vision, focusing on that CS, looking for opportunities, because that's really what it comes down to.
Right.
Looking out for opportunities to either poke or to be able to engage. Like here, that Tristana does go in. She's able to jump in. She was stunned, so she wasn't necessarily able to jump out. So nothing came out of it other than denying a little bit of CS on Hamilton's side.
Yeah, not too much, like I said. Early game, like we say. I always feel like characters that have a stun ability always have a bit of an advantage, because you know stunning your enemy mid-game, especially in like team fights, is so crucial.
Yeah, what's interesting is that most of the champions that have stun abilities have their skill shots, so you have to be able to land them. So that's kind of the trade-off. Like it's not just some sort of global stun. You do have to have that skill in order to land them.
How overpowered it would
Properly.
be if someone had like an ult
my
that
gosh.
universal stun.
Yeah, no, that would not go over well.
Yeah. Scary, but next dragon up in 15 and less seconds.
So the discipline in both of these teams really shows the fact that we're about to be at the 5-minute mark and we have 0 deaths.
Right.
And everybody is staying healthy, relatively. Some of them have backed, some of them haven't, but they're all being extremely cautious. Looks like that Jace is hanging out in that river, and Oriana's gonna have to be
Watch
careful
out.
to not get caught
Might
out.
have to flash out of
And
this.
unfortunately gets pulled back, and it does look like the Oriana. Oh,
first blood though. Took tower shots.
Oriana took out that
Very good, and
Jace,
they're
and
moving
now
up.
Tristana is chasing that Victor, and she
Oh,
backs
hold on.
off. She's still
Wait,
trying to
she
chase
is
him
faster.
down. She is. However, that Akali is there, and they're gonna have to back off. So Oriana has to be a little bit. I mean, not Oriana. Tristana's gonna have to be a little bit more confident in skills. She could have gotten that kill, and unfortunately, because they left tower to support, it gave Hamilton opportunity to get a plate off of that tower, getting some tower shots. So definitely a little bit of a trade when it comes to gold.
Yeah, and it looks like they might Gilbert might go dragon in exchange.
Right, it looks like they do have a bit of an advantage because that mid laner is gone. Looks like the bot lane is backing off. They're not realizing. But nope, they're not starting the dragon. They just warded it.
Alright. So, not anything too serious.
Probably trying to chase down this Ornn. So Ornn having to be a little bit more careful. And that's the part that I think could work in Gilbert's favor, is that Akali's going to try to be very aggressive. However, Ornn is significantly more tanky than Poppy. So it may not work out the way that she thinks it's going to. Because
Indeed.
even now, Ornn is pretty much level. Like Akali just went to 7. And they were 6 together for a while.
Alright. Mid lane, kind of just stay near the edge of the river. Bottom lane, near their tower. Gotta destroy this wave. Mid lane, level advantage by a little bit, I'm guessing. And poking. Top lane, more just CSing. Ooh, there's a jungler down there. Gotta watch out.
Yeah, so Jay's trying to find a gank on that Ornn. So definitely gonna have to be a little bit careful there that he doesn't create issues. We do have some ult, and
Taking
Ornn
some sour shots.
is gonna try to ult, and I don't know if he landed his ult. I don't think he did.
Interesting position because they're kind of in the back line behind
Right.
the tower. And Ornn does have a bit lower health, and you can get poked out by the ranged attacks.
Yeah, now they know that he doesn't have the ult, which means that they're gonna go in and take him out. However, Gilbert does get that first dragon. While everybody was distracted, looks like Aatrox was able to get it.
Yeah, so they are able to do a life for a dragon.
Yep.
Just a little bit of a trade.
So a little bit of a trade going on here. Aatrox going for that Victor. Again, having to be careful that we're not going for those tower shots.
They definitely can build up
creates a
advantage.
situation. Yeah, most definitely.
And here we are.
So grubs are up, and Aatrox kind of showing vision to see where things are at. And Victor is ulting. No, not Victor. Jhin is ulting. But Tristana able to dodge all of those abilities. And we have Hamilton trying to get grubs.
That's one grab.
Gilbert is there around the corner, but doesn't really have the support there to try to jump in. Milio is there.
They're just
So
a
we'll
bit
see
spread.
what they're going to do. Looks like the second grubs goes to Hamilton. And it looks like Gilbert's just going to walk away and let them have grubs.
Yeah, at that point, there's no point going in.
Yeah, they
they're
still
about
had
to
3 people that are incredibly healthy. So I think it's a good call by Gilbert to just retreat, go back to lane, and hope for the next objective.
Yep. So,
Which is going to be a ways from now, because it's 3.5 minutes until the next dragon. So we'll see what kind of situations they're able to create.
yeah, this is gonna be a much more slower strategic game this time around.
Yeah, most definitely. So they are, see again, that Akali and that Ornn are level by level. So Ornn doing a good job at keeping up, even though they are significantly far ahead in CS. So in the long run, it could potentially create some issues. But he's playing pretty safe. Looks like Aatrox is there trying to support. He missed it. There we go.
there we
That
go.
secondary ult does go in.
Flashes away.
Oh, and they're trying. Oh, Aatrox. Really got to be careful with those towers.
And looks like Ornn might go down as well. Unfortunate.
Took some unnecessary damage there. So just make sure that they're not going under there. I think Hamilton learned in the first game that Gilbert will overextend under tower, and I think they're using that to their advantage right now. So Gilbert's going to have to really retreat and play smart, let them get away potentially, to not feed them in the long run.
Agreed. So, mid lane teleports back just to make sure not to get too far behind. And it's pretty back to the casualness now, but Gilbert does have a little ways to make up in terms of golden kills. Looks like they're circling around. Ooh, stunned. And
Looks like Tristana and Milio are both able to get away. Orianna being a little bit careful underneath that bot lane, trying to avoid those shots from Victor. Hamilton definitely playing a lot more aggressive. We have Aatrox coming down to that bot lane, trying to have a gank. Does go in, grabs the Jhin.
damages them.
Yeah, so a lot of damage coming in, but unfortunately Jhin is able to get out of there. Milio goes down, Jhin is ulting, and Aatrox does also go down.
Not great. Now Gilbert's behind a little bit, just even more.
Most definitely. So they're going to have to be careful because a lot of their strength from last game is the fact that they played so smart in the early game. And right now in the early game, Gilbert's definitely struggling a little bit.
Yeah. A role reversal of the game starts. But if it follows that kind of pattern of reversal, then Gilbert will end up winning. But who knows? Knock on wood.
So we'll see here Akali chasing down, and this is the part where Hamilton might have to be careful. They're starting to play a little bit aggressive, which can come back and cause issues when you start to overextend, which that Akali almost did. So it's definitely going to be interesting the direction that things go as this game progresses. We're only at 12 minutes, so it's still very much the early game.
Next dragon's up in 10 seconds, though. So that next team fight's on our way
Yeah,
soon.
definitely. Orianna taking that tower shot there and able to get some plates.
Ooh, watch out
Jace
for that.
is right there. That Orianna's
Flashes
going to
away.
have to be careful with that Jace. They love to hang out in that river and try to catch them out. So some vision in that river is going to be extremely important. Akali just kind of dashing in, taking a shot at the tower and then backing off. Getting some extra gold there from those plates. Victor kind of trying to do the same thing, taking some tower shots, but understanding how much damage they can take versus what they can't.
Yeah. So Hamilton is up in gold, kills, levels, generally just a bit of ahead, but it's still early game, so don't have to be overly stressed about it.
Right, and they're ahead in three champions. But again, every time we check, like they're even, and then one's ahead, so it's not like they're ahead by a lot. Right now, we do have a 3v2 in the bot lane. That Jhin is definitely causing some issues for Gilbert. It looks like we have an Aatrox coming in. Orianna kind of hanging out around that dragon. We might be setting up for the next team fight. However, Jhin no longer has his ult.
And, I mean, they did push away the bot lane, so they might not come down in time to take the dragon.
Right, but Hamilton is delaying, so they might give them enough time to get there. So we'll have to see how quickly they go for that dragon. Victor has teleported to that mid lane, and that dragon's already halfway down. Looks like we have a bit of an engage. Gilbert trying to take that dragon, and they
Nice.
do. They
They
steal
can
the
steal
second
it.
dragon, and we have a fight here. Aatrox trying to get out, does not make it out of there. Ariana trying to get out, does not get out either. So again, kind of a trade there. Gilbert gets the dragon, but loses 2 people. So as far as the kill counter and the gold, still in Hamilton's favor.
Yep. Looks like Ornn's going to be in a lane of his own for a few seconds.
Yeah,
at the
so
very
Akali
least.
did retreat, which allows him to farm a little bit, but she's going to teleport to get right back to it. Rift Herald has spawned, so we'll have to see who starts making a path towards there.
Yep. And so Gilbert has 2 dragons. Maybe that'll help him out later. What do earlier dragons kind of do?
I mean, I think they just give you gold, and it gives you a head counter to try to get soul and to try to get elder. At 3 dragons, Oriana does go down under tower. It's unfortunate. Victor has such huge range. That makes sense why that's happening there with that Victor. Right now, Hamilton does have a bounty on 4 of their 5 champions. It looks like Gilbert was about to retreat, and then they go back in to fight him off. Hamilton there by Rift. Not sure they're gonna try to start it. Realizing that Gilbert is not really there. Aatrox is the only one that's hanging around. You do have Ornn in that top lane, so we'll have to see.
Perhaps he'll go in and steal again.
Yeah, maybe. Looks like he's looking more for a gank, however, probably knowing that if he goes in for a gank, they will take Rift Herald.
They take it anyway.
Oh, they do.
Unfortunate.
All
But
right.
you can't win them all. So Gilbert has a bit of catching up to do.
Most definitely. Now, we are in a situation that because Gilbert is starting to get a little bit behind, the next few objectives actually going to give them a bonus gold. So they're able to take a tower. They can get an extra 500 gold if we're able to get a Rift Herald. It gives them an extra 1,000 gold, I believe. So some opportunities for Gilbert to try to catch up. They just have to make sure that they find the right objectives and find the right opportunities to make up the lost goal that they have here. So it looks like we have a jump from the Tristana,
3v2.
trying to go in. They are able to push them back. Jhin with an ult, trying to protect Aatrox, blocking for the squishier ones.
Watch out for that jump
As
there.
they go in to try to push a little bit. Victor
That's
coming up
Victor.
on the side, and Akali coming down from the top. So it's creating some challenges from Gilbert to try to find opportunities to get ahead for sure.
So Gilbert's just kind of falling back for now. Playing very cautious, not doing any team fights.
Well, it's a little too early for some of those team fights, especially when you know you're not necessarily quite at even levels. We do have Rift Herald going into that mid lane. Gilbert is there trying to take it out. So it doesn't get a secondary hit, but it does take out that tower. Still a fight in that top lane. Hamilton definitely pushing a lot faster and harder this time.
It'll be interesting to see how Gilbert responds. Top
So we
is still
have-
doing their stuff.
Yep. And
Almost
looks
got
like
that
the
tower.
tower is going to go down. Looks like Victor has moved down to the bot lane, and they are both fighting against that Oriana, which also goes down. Looks like Ornn is going to ult and misses. It creates some challenges. Aatrox is still chasing down that Akali, but she dashes out. Akali has such great mobility.
Yes.
So she is able to get out of that pretty safely.
This is
Looks like Ornn is by himself in the top lane, so taking out some of those plates, focusing on taking out the minions, clearing the wave as much as they can. Akali doesn't have teleport, I just realized. They have Ignite, so they do have to walk back to lane.
I thought I saw her walk back or teleport back.
Yeah, I think it's one of the updates this season. They automatically get a teleport, possibly. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Looks like Victor is still focusing on that bot lane. Dragon is up, which Hamilton will, of course, go for.
Yeah.
And they are already there and pulling it out of the pit and chunking it down. Gilbert is not there to respond. Aatrox was the only one that was there by himself and does get taken down by that Aatrox.
Looks like they're going to very much melt that dragon.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. But Gilbert's got this. They got this. Come on. They had a good first game. They know what they're doing. But anyway, top lane. poking, not really fighting. The next tower looks like it's gonna go down to minions. Yep, that's another tower down. So Hamilton has taken 5, Gilbert has taken none. Hamilton's ahead by like 13,000 gold, 12,000 gold. Baron is up, and Gilbert's back up and starting to push a little. Ooh, looks like they caught out one of Hamilton's stronger guys, but they get away.
Yeah, they have a really great shield, which I'm not 100% sure which item was providing that. But it's almost like an invulnerability that they had, which is creating some challenges from Gilbert for sure, all the way around. This is by no means a game that's over, but Gilbert needs to do something quickly before this gets completely out of control.
Agreed. Let's see here. So junglers doing stuff. Watch out for Victor. Jungle. Bit of mid lane. 3v2 and overleveled. Moving away. Taking out a bit of that vision, of course. You want to make sure your enemy is blind. So the camera follows around to whatever place has the most action, and I guess there's just not a lot of action going on right now. Here comes that Victor, though, very menacingly. Watch out. She's a bit cornered. Watch out for his various projectiles.
Yeah, so Oriana's really having a hard time against that Victor.
Oh, he's almost dead, though.
Oh, and he does go
Nice.
down. However, Jin is going to go after that Oriana.
His ult recharges quickly.
Goes really, really far, and it's a crazy ult that the Jin has for sure.
Yeesh.
So it looks like we're setting up a little bit in that mid lane.
Yes, indeed. But Gilbert did claim the bounty on killing that Victor, so that's good.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, they're still a little over 10k gold behind. Hamilton is starting to invade Gilbert's jungle, which is going to make things difficult for Gilbert's jungle to be able to continue to level up. So this is creating kind of a damage control situation for Gilbert, so we'll have to see.
Alright.
But the top tower does go down to Gilbert, which gives him a little bit of extra gold, which is always a good thing. Hamilton being really aggressive in the jungle, clearing vision, jumping in. Tristana has to jump out to escape.
Indeed.
And looks like they are pinging that Baron, so Hamilton might be heading there next. Next Dragons for a minute and about 15 seconds, so we'll have to see what objectives everyone prioritizes. Gilbert is just now coming back onto the map. 2 of them are there, so we might be seeing our next team fight in front of that dragon pit.
Ooh, Gilbert really needs a good team fight to turn this around. It's gonna come down to it because Gilbert will fight to the bitter end, so we'll just have to see what happens for Gilbert. Dragon's coming up in 40 seconds, and Gilbert's just kind of just spread out a little bit, not really gathering around the dragon pit, but maybe they're. Oh, there was one ping on Baron. Maybe they'll go for Baron instead.
Definitely just trying to keep some vision, trying to see which direction they're gonna head. So they are gathering around that Baron. Looks like Gilbert is starting the Baron.
All right.
So they're gonna try to chunk that down. Hamilton seems to be a little bit distracted, so we'll see if they're able to not ulti very quickly. And Hamilton knows that they are there, so Gilbert is going to have to back off.
Indeed. Baron regains all his health, so he won't be too
And
easy
Jin
to kill.
coming in with his Ultra Stunner has to bounce out of that, but they are out of the range of that ult, which is really good, so they're able to all get away. Baron will reset, so whenever you start it, chunk it down and you walk away, it does start to regen its life.
Looks like they're going to get dragons.
And
so
they
that's
do.
two dragons
So
for
Hamilton uses that opportunity to push Gilbert off of Baron and takes the second dragon. So now everyone's resetting, kind of going back to lane, clearing some vision. Tarek putting some vision back in that Baron pit to see if anybody's going to come in and try to take it. Akali and Victor are both heading out to the outer lanes, trying to stop those minion waves, while everybody else is heading to that mid lane.
What they really need to do is just take out just catch out one of their powerful characters, and that way they can claim the bounty, get a guy stuck in spawn for a while.
So all we need is one massive team play when Gilbert is able to take out some of the top Hamilton players. So we'll have to see if they're able to create that. We have a little bit of an engaging Baron, but everyone kind of backs off. So we'll have to see what they decide to do here. Everyone's kind of spread out. Hamilton's pushing a bit down that mid lane. I guess we're probably going to see another fight in that mid lane as they all start to push. Hamilton's doing a little bit of a split push though, putting people in all lanes.
You definitely want to keep your enemies spread out, especially when you know that they're trying to like gang up on you. So
we'll have to see here what happens. Ornn clearing that wave in that top lane.
We know Baron
Hamilton
is
gathering around Baron. Looks like they are gonna go for it. So we'll see what Gilbert does, if they're gonna respond to try to stop it. All 5 of Hamilton are there. So we'll have to see if Gilbert's gonna jump in and try to stop this. They are running. Okay, we have an ult. Oh, and they still get Baron. That ult goes in, doesn't really cause any damage. Ornn still went in, so he needs to back out of there. I don't know if he would be able to. He's so tanky, but also means he's very, very slow. And it looks like Gilbert might be surrounded in that mid lane, so they'll have to be very careful with that engage, and they are retreating back. Hamilton's kind of chasing them down, trying to look for another opportunity, and this is where we could potentially have another team fight as they come in.
Ooh.
And Milio instantly goes down to that Jhin. I mean, there's such a drastic difference between that Milio and that Jhin. He is naturally very squishy. The hard part about this point in the game is that the death counter is so much longer. So here we have kind of another fight going in here. Looks like Jace does go down, which is great. Unfortunately, that turret does go down. That Victor is so incredibly low. They hit that inhibitor. Still trying to go into this fight. We have an Ornn ult, which is going to hit.
Get him, nice.
And nice. Jhin does go down, and so does.
That's the kind of thing we're looking for.
Yeah, most definitely. However, that Akali is in that top lane taking out the tower and the inhibitor. So again, like we said earlier, the inhib creates a situation where you're going to have super minions. So it creates some extra challenges for everyone.
We've got Gilbert gathered in the top lane. I'm guessing they're just trying to go for something, anything.
Right. We have Victor. Victor is there, and so is Akali, while looks like Tarek and Jace are kind of heading towards that dragon pit. We got 45 seconds until the next dragon, so they're probably trying to set up. Aatrox is heading in that direction, while the rest of Gilbert is recalling that Ornn was trying to upgrade somebody's item. So one of his abilities is that he can upgrade anybody's item on his team, but he has to stop and
Hammer it out,
yeah, exactly. So he was trying to do that, cause some issues. Milio gets caught out and very quickly goes out to that Jace. While Milio was trying to do his job, trying to find vision, put down some vision, take out vision from the enemy team. Looks like both teams are starting to head towards Dragon. at the 30-minute mark. We're even in Dragons. However, that kill counter is definitely working against Gilbert. That goal difference is substantial. We could potentially still find an opportunity to try to take out Hamilton, and if for some reason on a team fight they're able to get there, then it creates some opportunities. But here we go, another small team fight.
Cloud Drake down.
Yep, Hamilton's able to take the third dragon and have an Ornn ult, which just caused the Victor to go down, and so does Oriana. Aatrox goes down, and now the Ornn. So given that Gilbert has lost so many, Hamilton will be able to push this down the mid lane and be able to push it down. They have grubs, and they
Yeah, 3 of Gilbert's down.
yes,
All of
and they
Hamilton.
very quickly go down. And they are melting down these towers. Some emotes, unfortunately, because that's not necessarily what we want to see, but it happens. Misclick sometimes. Everyone's so used to using them. And they're going to take down the Nexus, and game 2 does go to Hamilton.
So that does finish it out for today.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow for our Marvel Rivals game. We'll be here against Central High School. And then Wednesday, 4 o'clock, we'll be playing Smash Bros. Against Agua Fria. So thank you so much for joining us. We